Folks, welcome back to the DNR channel, the Do Not Resuscitate podcast. I'm your host, Ben the Bane Davis, joined by my co-host, Riley Osborne. And Riley, we have arrived at the midway point of Season 41 of the Challenge Vets and New Threats.
The mini finale, as they were calling it, Ben, which ended up being the mini final, which ended up being maybe the least eventful episode of the entire season, but also set a lot of precedent about how we're going to go forward, I think. I don't know. I think there's a lot to talk about how this went down, the results of how it went down, and then, of course, obviously what happened at the end of that episode. But I have some thoughts. I have some opinions about this. They are negative for the most part, okay? So I'm just setting the stage for people here. I'm a bit poopy butthole about this one.
I'm Mr. Unhappy Pants today, all right? I'm
Joe Upsetty, okay? That's like... That's where I'm at with this one. Well, but talk to me about, because you do obviously have a different perception having done some of the challenges, but talk to me about it.
I think the question can be asked, is this the worst mini final of all time, right? The point of these episodes is it's really just to see who is at the point where they can, make TJ's final and run it successfully, and who's not there, right? And I just feel coming away from this episode, you don't get the strongest of ideas for one big, glaring, obvious, huge, Saturn-sized reason, which we'll get to, cheating. But let's take it back to the top. So the whole, I would say, umbrella feeling on top of the house is lock-ins coming. We've got our permanent partners. We're no longer going to be swapping after each elimination. This is when the stakes get high, right? Your fate's going to be attached to somebody for the remainder of this season. And so we arrive to the bottom of this Chilean hill in the Andes Mountains. Probably not. and we get a lay of the land, what we're going to be looking at. So 5 checkpoints. It's over a 6-mile course with a 7,000-foot elevation gain throughout it. So, Riley, when we think about just at the offset of challenges, this is the most daunting one, I would say, that the challengers are faced with this season.
Yeah, and for my metric inclined people, about 10 kilometers, and I think that would be close to 2,000 meters of elevation gain, which is a grind. Like, that is an absolute grind. Don't get me wrong. A 10K, just if you were to just run it, that's an hour. Like, your average fit person is running, an hour 10K, I would say. You add almost 2,000 meters of elevation gain, like, comfortably double it, man. That is tough.
Yeah. And I can offer this as someone who was on the season for about 12 seconds. The Chilean sun is horrific. It was beating down on you every moment you're outside. And because the UV index is the way it is, right, you're just getting boiled way quicker than anywhere else in the world, at least most places that I've ever experienced. So,
dude, you're from Arizona, though. Like, is it worse than that?
So much worse. It's so much worse than Arizona.
Wow. I genuinely find that difficult to believe.
I promise
I would melt.
It was a different kind of heat. And that's all to say that this is, again, what the mini final is supposed to be. It's going to test you. Now, the 5 checkpoints, they are as follows, right? The first one is math with symbols on rocks.
Sorry, I just
what are you laughing at?
This is the mini final. It's gonna test you, and it won't matter at all.
Listen, we'll get to that.
And it will be for literally nothing. Okay, no, sorry.
If I were to attribute punctuation to this episode, it'd be pointless. So the checkpoints are as follows. You've got math with symbols. Basically, there's like runes on these rocks, and you add them up, and then you unlock the second checkpoint, which is the eating challenge, which was, I think, some onions, some garlic, and a hot pepper, a hot pepper.
Dude. I'm sorry. If I've got 8 kilometers of hiking uphill to go and you make me eat an entire onion from like right at the start, I would be so pissed off. Quick fuel for this, by the way, guys. This onion. So fucking get after it.
Hey, look, I know that you kind of want to get your protein bars, your gels to get your energy. What if I gave you an onion?
if you considered a ghost pepper, because they actually they get you going, man. Like,
and then you wash it down with a fucking clove of garlic. I mean,
yeah, like. Have you considered the cinnamon challenge followed by a 1 mile sprint?
and then I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah.
No, but okay. So it was the eating, which we'll get into. That's kind of the big point I would say of this episode conversationally is, to your point, Riley. Nobody wanted to fucking do it, and they didn't. Next up, it's this tower puzzle, which really didn't look all that complex. You have to like.
That looked easy.
I thought for a moment, right, just when they were panning over it, that you had to be really careful. Because I'm like, oh, shit, what if you knock it over? Then you have to restart. But no, it's on like a fucking inner pole, and you just twist it around the pole. Easy. You move on to the chains, which is like hanging chains to get to the same length. And then you arrive to the last part, which is a rhyme, which many people didn't really seem to have any problems with. So a lot of checkpoints, but within those, I would say relatively easy tasks. And that's kind of what this mini final started, right? Everybody blew through that first one. The math with the symbols, no problem. In fact, most people were just giving the answer, right? 222. It's 222.
Yeah. I even saw when CT's group got to it, they did it together and then just carried on.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because CT and Anissa did get there last. and I will say, the beginning of them in this mini final is not at all how it ends, which we will touch on. But it was funny just given the discourse, given the conversation, heading into this mini final about CT. Then on the very first checkpoint, you just see the lower third of CT and Anissa last place. And you're just like...
Yeah. Also, I did notice... I found it a little funny at the start when Anissa was in that conflict with I'm forgetting her name.
Yeah,
Ashley.
yeah.
And first off, Ashley, she kind of sucks. Like, I don't know what her deal is. Is that you? Are you a fan of her?
No. That's Clock It. That's what the kids are doing these days. We're clocking it.
Okay. Wow, I feel old. Okay, but. She's having this conflict with Anissa, and on one hand she's right. Like, Anissa is not one of the stronger competitors here physically. Like, that just is what it is.
She's got 30 points. Anissa's been putting up numbers.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like yeah, sure, she's maybe not going to be dominating in the run up the hill, but she's making up for it obviously in other places. And it was just this like very baseless, like random attack.
Yeah.
It almost felt like it came out of a place of insecurity, I would say. Like, she's like, oh, I'm not going to win probably this season, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and you're not going to win. And I'm like, you're kind of projecting. That's how that felt. Just to briefly go over that. Felt like she was projecting. Felt like she sucks. Like, she's just a negative person.
Sucks.
Yeah, like she's a bummer. Felt like she's actually bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, quick read on you. You suck. Okay, moving on. Like that's just how I felt about that. But yeah, anyways, it was interesting that she was at the back of the pack. But they quickly changed that up a little bit.
I actually kind of want to sit on that Ashley and Anissa for a moment longer.
Nah,
right?
we're gonna move on. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Quick read. You actually suck. No, so it's funny because like that upper room started off the season so tight beyond belief, right? Anissa's in the room, Nani, Michaela, Ashley, Aviv, like that's they were up in that room together from day one, and it has just splintered and fractured as this season's continued. And honestly, like I'm watching Spies, Lies, and Allies right now. I've seen a lot of clips from Ashley, and one of the big things that you and I, Riley, have talked about a lot is, I acknowledge and respect what someone's done in their past challenge seasons, but I weigh what is presently going on over much else. And while Ashley is a two-time champ, won the $1 million on one of those seasons, and has had great moments, this season she is really leaving a lot to be desired, right? Again, you're not putting many points on the board. You're having these crash outs. You're blaming your partners who aren't doing much wrong, to be honest with you. And Anissa, who has the same exact pool of partners, is almost triple your points. So clearly the issue is you. But what kind of bugs me about Ashley is that she will never, ever take accountability. never, ever admit that she's maybe in the wrong, even partially. And like that is, look, I love the character. I love the fiery, the southern, charm, the drawl, but like have some fucking
self-awareness. That is not what southern charm is. Yeah, like that ain't southern charm for sure. And I totally agree with you.
But all right, so let's get back to it. So CT and Nina said they are bringing up the rear at the first one, but that very quickly changes because after everyone blitzes through the math challenge, we get to the eating portion of this mini final. Now, it's the first time this season that anybody has encountered an eating challenge. Honestly, it was something that I was looking forward to, that I didn't get to experiment with. And I can say that because who knows how I would have done.
Sees a bag of hot Cheetos. Oh, I'm going to destroy this. Like,
is that an onion? But no, it's just so many of these challengers, they crack that box open and they're disgusted. But guess who steps up to the fucking plate and demolishes it? CT. That guy rips that pepper apart like it's breakfast, chows down on the onion, and moves on. Turbo is in front. We'll give him that first, and we'll talk about Turbo's performance.
Turbo did well there as well, too.
Yeah.
Turbo and Will both, they muscled through that. They did.
But when you think about the time, right, the lead that both Turbo and Will had, and for CT to come dead last, right, to that eating challenge, and boom, he's in second in the men, I think. Second or very close third. That's where this guy shines. That's why he is a huge issue inside the house, because he has these things in his back pocket. But as much as I'm glazing CT, I do want to turn the conversation to, Riley, the big point of this, which was the cheating. The cheating. The people that didn't want to eat that onion. You know what I mean? And I had heard, Leo told me last week that, there was a little bit of shenanigans going on. Let me tell you something. When the camera panned up and I'm seeing full onions, I'm seeing full peppers, not even like one bite on him, I damn near lost it. Like, what are we fucking doing here?
Yeah, it's funny because I've kind of mentioned this before in some of the previous episodes. It's pretty clear to me that the rules are bendable in this game, and that they're not like super locked in with a lot of the rules, and that, it's like there's some interpretation here and there, like with some of the challenges you did. I'm thinking of the mud pit where guys realize, you don't have to run down there. You can just solve the puzzle on its own and things like that, right? And I think that's one thing, right? But when it's so easy to just be like, okay, you didn't eat the onion, how there's no way to interpret that. Does that make sense? Like, this was such a clear, very simple, eat this thing, and shut up about it. There's no manipulation of that. So I found when it's people literally just being like, okay, there's a pile over here. If I toss mine over there, they're never going to be able to identify what is what. So then enough people did it that's exactly what happened. The production crew was not able to actually identify who had cheated and who had not.
I disagree with you because they're on camera throwing it. It's not like all they have to go on is the onion and the pile. It's like, so I have video evidence
there's
of
no
all
way.
of you.
There's no way. They didn't They didn't get every single person throwing it.
Yes, they did.
Why would they disband the whole thing then?
So here's the thing. We can jump to that. I don't know why they just wiped this entire episode clean. I wish they would have punished the people that cheated and didn't penalize those that ate the full eating challenge. But I promise you, the amount of fucking cameras that they have, the amount of fucking drones that they have, the GoPros that they have on every single competitor, they know without a shadow of a doubt who cheated and who did not. I can promise you that.
Then that's total BS that they wiped that challenge. That is total BS. Obviously, to me, that indicates that
everybody cheated.
Pretty much everybody cheated. Yeah, like if that's the case, it means that so many people cheated that if they do penalize, it'll mess with the points so much that it'll just mess with the whole show. So I understand that perception of it, but fundamentally, that's unfair. And I think that actually, I don't know if we want to skip all the way, but at the end when Will is, you can cut me off if you want me to stop on that one, but at the end when Will kind of brings it up to everybody, he goes, hey, you guys cheated, and you could see Will dug deep. Like, Will's a big guy, Running a 10K uphill for Will, I don't imagine cardio is his like strong suit. He's obviously in great shape, but I'm saying this guy's not a runner, right? He's like 230 lean. Like I don't think he's a runner. So he even mentioned it. He's like, back in the Marine Corps, like we dug deep and we didn't give up. So he dug deep. Like clearly he dug deep. This was difficult for him. A guy like Jeremy, he's running all the time. Like that's kind of more accustomed for him. A guy like Will, he's really digging deep in this. He's eating all the food. He's doing what he has to do. Then he goes to that table and he says to all the guys, like, you guys, like, a lot of people here cheated, you suck. Yeah. To me, when the whole table goes quiet, everybody else at the table is like, oh my God, this buzzkill. That to me was like, okay, most of you cheated. Because now you guys don't want to face this. You don't want to face the reality that you guys have pulled some BS here. Because if there was a solid majority of the people that hadn't cheated, people around that table would have been like, yeah, screw everybody who cheated. But it was clear that there was so many cheaters that he gets pushed back, like he's the odd man out, like he's the one that did something wrong. And that actually pissed me off almost more. Because I was like, yo, it's one thing to cheat. It's another thing to cheat and then like gaslight other people about it
for doing the right thing.
Not take accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah, not take accountability for it and be like, oh, you're such a pussy. You didn't cheat. Like, oh, you ate the whole thing. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the guy dug deep. He essentially won. He was like second or third place. Mm-hmm. Smashed it. Yeah, I found that was really unfair for sure. That pissed me off. And again,
with the stakes of this mini final, right? Will and Jeremy tied. That would have allowed Will to have the first choice and to have that power, and to rob that of him when he's doing all the correct things is deeply unfair. And we'll get to that and chat about that dinner and Will and Nani and this whole vilification of Will when he is in the right in a little bit. But let's take it back to the mini final and just bust through this. There's really not too much to say. Outside of, I've got here, Sydney admits to cheating, D blatantly cheating. Somebody said Nani threw all of her onions.
Let's be honest, Ben. We knew Sydney cheated before she admitted to it.
Yeah.
Duh. Duh. Shows up second, just like, yes, with Turbo. I was like, no way, no shot.
And listen, I'll say this, because I dogged her, because I've been dogging her. She is showing up. She is showing up, right? Coming, I believe in first for the females, displaying the strength as a competitor she has, which is something I've maintained.
She did not come in first for the females. She cheated. She even said it.
Well, who came in front of her?
She did, but she cheated. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was not a valid
you think
win.
It's like a disqualification? True, but then it's like, again, when everyone's cheating, I suppose. No, okay. Listen. Well, stop it.
Shut up, Ben.
Listen, I'm a rule follower, and okay. So I will say,
you're just there, last, just still eating the onion, like just muscling through it. Everyone's done. 40 half-eaten onions around you, and you're just like,
I'm eating.
They said I gotta eat this onion. Yeah. These onions got to be finished. Somebody's got to finish these.
Could you imagine if somebody gets? I mean, this would have been funny for CT to do, but just be like, "Are you gonna finish that onion?" I think I need more fuel for my 10K run.
Dude, this I actually feel great. I'm gonna eat another onion.
You guys aren't liking this? I will say, listen, talking about maybe who's last on the eating challenge, America was gutting it out, trying to finish this valiantly, and I would say do things the right way, even if that sandbagged her, which is really commendable. I think that, like we've talked about at length, so many challengers were willing to compromise the integrity of like doing this mini final in order to save their asses on time, speed, and rankings. America said, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do this the right way, and I will sit here until I am done with my onion, which I can fully fucking respect. And I was going to bring this photo up later in the episode, but I think we must don Thug America. This is Thug America showing up, bro. She don't give a shit. She gotta do what she gotta do, and I was very pleased with America in this episode.
Yeah, and I think that takes a lot of character too, because I've often said, and this is in a different realm in boxing and everything, like if cheating is allowed up until this point, it's the program's fault, not the competitors. Because if you're losing every competition because everyone else is cheating, you now have to cheat. right? So again, if I'm doing this run and everybody's just leaving the station and here I am like an asshole eating this onion, everybody's gone. Mm-hmm. I'm looking around, their onions are there. So it's almost this sense of like maybe essentially the first cheater was like the real cheater and then everyone else was just trying to keep up, which is, that's obviously one way to look at it. I'm just saying in the realm of sports, for example, I always say like sports that don't drug test, if you don't drug test, that means athletes have to do PEDs to compete because otherwise they're they're going up against guys that are exactly like everybody's going to, especially if millions of dollars are on the line. Here again, it's the same thing. Like we have a big prize on the line. People are very competitive about this. This is a really, really integral day. And everyone else is cheating. I can't just lose. I have to keep up with them. So I understand that lens of it. But as a viewer, it's like, you guys are on TV. You're there for money and fame. And like, this is a great opportunity for you. Why are you not at least at the bare minimum just honoring the show?
Right.
And that's the part that pissed me off. It's like you do have
I don't want to say responsibility, but
yes, you
to
do,
the audience,
though, right?
And the other competitors that are doing it fairly and are trying to follow the rules and stay within the lanes because, and this is something that you and I spoke about before we started recording, but like they sit you down and there is a very strict meeting on rules and how the challenge is to unfold with Justin Booth, the showrunner, and it's clear. It's very clear, and you have space and time to ask questions and see what the wiggle room could be, and like whatever, just get clarification. But there, like I know that this was very, I would say, intentionally outlined, and then so many people disregarded it. So to just kind of skip to this because there's really not too much compelling about the tower puzzle, the chains, or the rhyme. Which actually, let's talk about the chains one more time. Ashley at the chains. Complete flop of an effort there and screaming about how this isn't fair and every season I'm doing X, Y, or Z and it doesn't go my way. And again, Ashley, there are other people around you who are figuring the chains out. There are other people who showed up after you to the chains that are finishing before you. And this is the one final where you have nobody to blame but yourself, but you're still trying to blame other people. Which I was just like...
Cry me a river. You know what I mean? Like, this is the competition. What do you want? You want them to lay out a red carpet for you to win?
Right.
And what would that even look like? Like, she hasn't been competitive. No. And I understand that she's, won in the past or whatever. But, what challenge do you want? Oh, it's never working out for me? Okay, that means it's a you problem.
Right. And this is stacking chains. It's can you just make the chains the same length? I get that it might be a little trickier.
Maybe it's
but
time-consuming, but, yeah, it's not hard.
No. But... So either way, to jump to the finish line of this, you had Turbo and Sydney coming in first, and then everybody else kind of following in behind them. And TJ then announces, I don't like cheaters. Everything's been scrubbed away. And, everything that you and I have been talking about, Riley, makes me kind of just feel like I wish that the application of penalty was on those that cheated and people like America who didn't cheat, to our knowledge, right? That if she did, that it wasn't shown. I don't believe she did, right? So to people like that, they should still have received something for the efforts today, because that'd be more compelling. I would say that'd be a little bit more compelling instead of just, lighting everybody on fire. It's, hey, this is the consequence of your individual action. This is the first time we've had an individual challenge, and the first thing some people do is cheat?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? It's so, like, how would this deter people from doing it in the future, right? I feel like it sets a bad precedent moving forward from this mini final.
Yeah, I mean, it's super tough to, and it was weird. Like, it was like the easiest one to be like, you cheated on that.
Yeah.
Like, eat it. Like, you can't move on until it's eaten. There's no interpretation there.
And again, there's a full fucking camera crew that I know your GoPros are on. It's like it would take a little bit of time to assess, everybody that did it versus didn't. But like they're showing the 8 different angles of D throwing the onion behind her. I'm like, I know you got everybody, right?
Yeah.
But either way, so we get back to the house. And John A. is freaking out for kind of an odd reason, right? The description from, I think, Cedric or someone's confessionals that Janae thinks she's the only person that threw the challenge, therefore this is all on her, and she's then explaining herself to America for some reason. I didn't understand that. I don't know if you grasped something that I didn't when you were watching that section of this episode, but I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, I do remember, too, when she was in it, she does mention, she's like, okay, everyone else is just leaving. I'll take the penalty. She says that. So I think that that's actually a great example of kind of what I said 5 minutes ago, of if everyone else is cheating, you're kind of like, okay, she even says, I'll just take the penalty, whatever that is, and I'll hope the penalty is less than whatever.
Could you imagine the penalty is you
time
go home?
I lose? Yeah, they just shoot you in the back of the head.
I'll take the penalty that
Whatever it is, yeah, it's just like it's Squid Games. It's just a sniper on the top of the hill, just start smoking people.
But okay, so
that was really dramatic. You got your headset blown clean off.
I got a little too committed to that. I kind of lost myself in that moment.
What would it be like to get shot?
Ben, you do that really well. Do you have any firsthand experience?
Have you been shot?
Have you been shot? Okay, so I want to then take it now to this dinner that they had, right? It was this very, very cute setup. We saw the menus, but I don't really recall us ever seeing this gourmet food that Sydney talked about, which, it would be funny if they just brought in the same shitty catering, but they put it on this eloquent table, and it's, a very thin, poorly cooked, poorly seasoned flank steak, and they're like, here you go.
Here you go. But take this and shut up, all right?
It is how it is. They bring. Could you imagine? They bring the onions back.
It's just a plate of onions.
You're gonna finish it now.
Yeah. Eat the onions.
Eat the onions. They have your bags packed. They're like, if you want to stay in the house, you got to eat the onion.
This goes one way or another way. Either way, you're eating these fucking onions.
Do you imagine? How was your challenge experience? They held us hostage and made us eat onions.
A lot of onions.
My diet, lot of onion. But okay, so, and we spoke about this a little bit ago, but to dive deeper into it, Will decides that this is the moment. Everyone's gathered at this table. I'm going to set the record straight a little bit. And basically calls out everyone that cheats, states that, look, we're about to lock in for our perma partners, and if you're a cheater, I do not want you by my side. For I would say very justified reasoning. If your ass is cheating during a daily and that compromises my game, we get sent to the arena, just boom, flat out, directly, because TJ catches that shit, and then I go home. That's insane. And so, I feel very, very fair from Will. I do think that maybe there was a better way of phrasing, maybe better time and place in some sense, but at the same time, stand on business, which is what he did.
Yeah, and I wonder if he knew he was calling out 75% of the house, because he was number 2. So he's gone from that station. He's not. He didn't witness that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I imagine that he assumed that he was talking to 5 or 6 people when he's talking to everyone, and so
I know that they talked about that. They probably talked about that shit on the bus rides back, and I guarantee, because Will was always sitting in the middle, I guarantee he's hearing, someone in the back go, yeah, I tossed that pepper, I couldn't fucking eat that. Someone in the front going, yeah, that onion, I took one bite and I just boink, threw it over the shoulder. I guarantee he heard that, and it only frustrated him further. But yeah, I will say some of the response is correct in that maybe it'll put more of a target on Will because everyone wants to find petty bullshit to pin on people. But I don't know. Turbo and Nani and CT, it's kind of childish reactions from them, right? Nani, read the room, Turbo.
It was
not necessary, especially here. CT shitting on him, saying, "Oh, he just got broken up with. I gave him the word, and he just fucking, he blew it." And it's like, what are we doing? He's actually correct. You guys,
but if people can be wrong, and if they're together, they win. We see that all the time. So for me, I hated that, but I understood it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understood where they were coming from with that. That didn't shock me because they're not going to then, like, they're not going to put themselves in a bad position if everybody did it. So Will, they're like, we can leave Will out to draw, like, we can leave him out here. We can make him crucify himself. He's
dying on the hill.
He's dying on this hill. We can let him. You know, we can either go up there and be like, yeah, Will, like, we're with you, or we can let him die on this hill. I'm looking at one of the strongest players in the game, period. He's clearly one of the strongest guys in the game. I'm letting him die on that hill, like 100%. I'm saying, hey, we need to get Gabe in an elimination with Will. Like, I'm trying
Gabe's inner dialogue when Will was saying that, he was like, I should vote myself in. You know what? Will's right. I did kind of cheat on that. I got to go earn myself back.
Yeah. I got to earn this back.
I do.
Yes.
Honestly, man, like, after watching the edit and how this episode and these seasons is unfolding, I wish I just told him every day, hey, you should vote yourself in.
Yeah, the fact that it worked once means it could have worked again.
It could have worked every time.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because I know for a fact that, like, Nani, CT, Turbo, if there was a percentage of the house that was on board with Will, they flopped over immediately to that opposite side, right? It's just weird for Turbo to be so about honor, to be so, shitting on CT. Is this brother, you stupid brother, you can't do that, brother. And then when everyone's cheating so blatantly, he's like, nah, this is okay though. Like, Turbo, you kind of going back on your own philosophy.
Yeah, he won, right? Do you think he cheated?
I don't think that Turbo cheated because I think that, that these Turkish guys, they know how to, like, just bite down on the mouth guard and get shit done. And to your point about Will finishing second on the challenge and not seeing everybody else cheating, Turbo was ahead of Will. So Turbo had no clue that there were people that were cheating probably. So I don't think that Turbo cheated, but that makes it even odd to me, more odd, why he would excuse it. Right? Because it's like you're so big on integrity to the point where you're screaming at CT about something that, again, upon much reflection and conversation, probably wasn't even his fault intentionally. But when people are cheating and now it fucks you over because it just erased your points, not that it mattered, right? He's in first. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird to stay silent, right? Am I being weird on that?
No, but I think the last thing you said there is the point though, right? He had the most points. So he's like, this doesn't matter for me. So I think that allowed him, I guess maybe in his mind, again, I think it goes back to
what's helpful for my game or not. And
exactly.
Yeah, siding with Will in this moment does not help my game.
Yep. Everyone else cheated. I'm in number one either way. I'm going to get my way. I'm getting Sydney as my partner. So I can either just let him die on this hill, or I can, it doesn't play any game for him. So that's how I see that. That's how I see that.
I want to take it to Nani and Will's conversation because they're hooking up. Great love story is unfolding between the newly single Nani and Will. I was gonna say Freakazoid Will, but I was like, that's me. I like Will a ton. And I got kind of the most angry man in existence. And honestly, like, watching this segment was irritating in the sense that, like, Nani could not articulate her position to save her fucking life. She's like, Will is having, I would say, again, pretty justified thoughts towards things, and Nani's just going, you're just so,
you don't get it, you idiot. Like, oh wow, that's talking me off the cliff here. Like, he's like freaking out, and she's like, yeah, well, it's because you're stupid and you don't get it.
Because you're like, a big dummy. This is your first time. This is my 90th time on the challenge, and you don't get it because you're dumb.
I've actually got the ick, and I don't want to sleep with you anymore, too. So fuck you, fuck your whole crew. Like, no, it was.
Can you imagine them fucking after that argument?
They probably did.
Probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got under the covers and then, like, you were right. You're not stupid.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be like that. But I think that them sleeping together was such a weird side plot because they clearly don't have feelings for each other. So it was just like, okay, let's kind of integrate ourselves in this way in a very public sense with no intention of anything. Not something I would personally do, but I don't know. I found that funny, but then this like minor conflict, and Nani is like, I hate you. Like, she just could not stand him. Yeah.
Well, she I think you jokingly said it, but I think it's true. She got the ick, and she's like, I think I'm donezo.
100%.
Which is weird, because it's like, Will crashed out like 3 weeks prior, and, you were around for that. Saw him punching walls and, freaking out over Johnny and Dee. Like, why did you start this? I get that you wanted a fun hookup. You were like, I'm single. I want to have fun. He's a very good, hot-looking guy. But it's like you knew that he's a bit wild, and you had to have thought that, okay, when he crashes out again, inevitably, this is going to paint a target on my back. So for her to act surprised, it's like, girl, you were sleeping with a lion, and now the lion is starting to take bites out of people.
Yeah. The leopards are eating your face.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see like what happens between them, because to your point, it's like this isn't anything serious, right?
Yeah.
But it would be funny if they had this like disastrous fallout, as if it was a relationship that had been really important to both of them and meaningful for so long.
But to be fair, this is a guy that was crying because Dee, who he like snuggled with one time, was hanging with bananas. Like, this is not a well-regulated guy. That's why I see that she's like, yeah, it's just all fun and casual, like nothing serious. And it's like, this is not the guy to do that with. Like,
He's
pretty
like,
clearly.
This is my future wife.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no, it's chill, it's casual. I love her, but like, it's chill and cool, and like, I'd die for her. But like, it's like really not a big deal. I just want to spend the rest of my life with her, So I'm just trying to play a cool play. It just cuts to him, and he's just punching cement, just like shattering walls.
He's just eating grass outside, fucking just losing his mind. He's at the bottom of the pool, just fucking. Yeah, I mean,
He's just got weights on his ankles. He's just standing like just below the pool. It's like he's in the 6 foot deep end, just over his head.
Yeah, it's just a meaningless hookup. Kills himself instantly. Oh my god. No, so I am curious to see how that plays out, because honestly, like, when I was watching this episode and Will and Nani were talking about being partners, I'm sitting here and I'm going like, yo, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because again, and for Nani, it's like, girl, you should know this. If you are like hooking up with someone and you partner up, that's the easiest target of all time. Open season. Like,
yeah.
you get on separate teams, and because you're hooking up, you know that you have the shield for each other and can operate as two teams instead of one. You just get more leeway. You just get more power. Why would you partner up? That's like shooting your boat and sinking, right? So, I don't know. I'm glad that they didn't do that, because I'm like, that's a dumb move. But in terms of other conversations, because we did see a lot of conversations of people who, were maybe going to be perma partners, maybe weren't. There's two funny ones that I want to highlight. America and Leroy. Bro, it didn't seem like America
was into that.
Yeah. She's like, duh, partners. High fives him, and then the camera cuts to her, and she's like,
but he even says, like, when he's trying to convince her, he's like, look, I know I've been terrible this seaseason.
I know
like,
that
wow.
I'm probably gonna go to the arena like a ton.
Yeah, but I'm good at it. So you're gonna be there with me.
I've only lost 17 seasons.
Yeah.
America's just seeing her challenge victory dreams fade out.
Drift away. Yeah. Let's do it.
Sure, bud. No, I like Leroy a ton, man. And like, listen, I'm shocked that he is still in this season, because after Bananas left, who was his number one guy, who was someone who he was riding for so heavily, big number for both of them, I thought that the house was going to, like, circle around him like sharks and be like, all right, Leroy, we got to get you out of here. And he's just evaded all concern, which, like, could be a product.
He is gray manning effectively.
Yes, and that's so surprising because, like, he explicitly had alliances, like, blatant relationships. And so, I don't know, it's weird because, you know, again, when we talk about Olivia, how strong she was in kind of the first frames, the first half of this season, it really feels like she doesn't have that pull and that control. And maybe that's a product of Derek's, Rogan's, Izzy's leaving, but I'm like, it could also be because you didn't assassinate the people like Leroy who are openly against you, you know, when you could have.
Yeah. I mean, he's even effectively gray managed this season. Like, he just hasn't he hasn't had much screen time or impact. So I don't know. I actually, sorry, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, could you imagine if he's been edited out of every episode? He's just in, like, the credits. So it's like, we know he's in that house somewhere.
Where is he? He's got to be in there.
He's not even in the backgrounds of shots. But we know he hasn't been eliminated yet. We don't see him in the daily challenge. They don't even cut to him.
He just wins the challenge.
Yeah, no screen time.
Olivia, she kind of you can see when she's picking her partner how she plays this game, because she even says it. She's like, a shield around me.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the last episode, that shield had fallen apart, right? It was like slowly, brick by brick, she'd been getting that shield torn apart. So you can tell that's her strategy, is to the social game, and she is great at it. I mean, for being such a strong player, to even know I still have to have a strong social game, I still have to have a shield around me.
Yeah.
I thought that was impressive.
She has not been complacent 1 second of this season.
Not 1 second.
She's been dialed on. She's been completely focused. And, like, that evolution of her from her first season to now is just deeply impressive. Like, here's a question for the audience. Has there been a challenger who has evolved as rapidly as Olivia has? I'd love to know, right? Because it's night and day between her day one versus where she's at. But again, like, it's still really an uphill battle. There's another pair that I want to bring up with CT and Tay. As CT was asking her out to the prom.
Yeah. Big swing, too, because Tay has been a total underdog, but been, she's looked phenomenal. Yeah, especially she can dig deep. You know, she's clutch. That's like, she's a clutch player, I think.
Especially
so that was a big swing for him, and he got it. I mean, that was... It worked, right?
Well, it's weird because, like, none of the other vet males seem to have gravitated towards Tay, which I don't understand whatsoever, because it's like she took out Izzy, who came in second on that mountain run, was a pretty competent new threat, took Izzy out, no problems, took out Blue way early on in the season. So when you say clutch, right, like, she's been tested, battle tested in high pressure scenarios and is undefeated. So it's like, if I'm a vet male, and at this point in the season, you have to understand, okay, I'm probably going to go down there. I want someone who is clearly not going to fold, clearly going to rise to the occasion and give their 110% best. Not many people have displayed that. So for Tay to do it so successfully and just not get this interest, not get the buzz from the other vet males, I'm just like, odd.
Yeah, I think, like, maybe because she's... a little passive in her approach. Maybe because she isn't kind of as aggro as a lot of other people are. But still, I think overlooked. But that was a big play for CT. I kind of understand why he was nervous, because it was like, he's going in here, he's making this big swing when he is in the worst position he's been in the house so far.
Yeah, so it's like you have to your partner has to accept, like, hey,
the baggage you're bringing along with you, and if they're not going to do that, you might just get left with the last person. If she was just like, I don't want to be part of all this, he gets stuck with somebody that he doesn't want to be with. Instead, he makes a big swing. He goes for the underdog. He gets a great partner. So I thought that was a really good play for him. I understood kind of where he was. Editing, 10 out of 10. It was great, but it was a good play for him, and it worked out.
And I will say, on the topic of like CT's last couple weeks and this reputational damage in season 41 from the new threats, it bothered me immensely that the first fucking line out of Jeremy's mouth was, "So yeah, the Justice for Lekka movement." I'm just like, give it up, dude.
Dude, that
give
was
it a
so
rest.
embarrassing. I actually was embarrassed about that.
I love Jeremy, but fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Let it go. Like,
yeah, that was
I'm
tough.
sorry. But talking about, right, potentially being last, potentially coming up in the rear, Gabe and John A. end up being the last picks. Gabe, not surprising in the slightest. I mean, which, after his season, after what he's had, because, again, it's like drama, messiness, illogical gameplay, and then you pair it with not really showing up in the dailies. Didn't show up in this mini-final, right? Like, I remember Gabe saying after that, like, first water tower rock climbing challenge, he was like, man, if I didn't have Naya sandbagging me, I would have dominated that. and now, after seeing this first half of the season, I look back and I'm like, I don't think you would have.
No.
I don't think he would have. So, yeah, not shocking that he's in last. And John A., two-time champ, being last is odd, but, you know, I kind of want to offer the other side of the coin because I don't know about you, but the online backlash that the new threats are getting, first it was the CT situation. Now it's the disrespect to John A. It's immense. Like, people are really turning on this new threat crew. And I just want to offer up, again, everybody acknowledges the past, but it is so important to just keep cognizant what's occurring in the present. At present, John A. comes off the couch several weeks into this season, and it just appears that the people that have partnered with her don't enjoy it, didn't like working with her. And that's their truth, right? That's someone that had to spend several days with John A. attached to them, a daily challenge where you are under immense pressure, need to communicate effectively, need to feel compatible with your partner. And for multiple people to come away from those days and not experience that with John A., I'm sorry. I acknowledge this passion that people have for John A., but it's so important that we're in the present. And at present, it seems like people don't want to be her partner, and that's valid from their perspectives.
Yeah. It's also, to play devil's advocate on the other side of it, understanding where the fans are coming from.
Yeah.
Even doesn't matter how much experience she has, the new threats feel like a clique right now. When again, I hate to always bring it back, but, the military is similar. You're kind of thrust into this random place you don't know anybody. Every week feels like a month. It's a very different environment. People that you've never met before, you've hung out with them for 3 weeks, you know them better than anyone, right? Because you're spending 24/7 together, you're doing all these tough things together. So the new threats, that's how they feel about each other. They're in this now, Of course, there's that element of backstabbing and deception and all that stuff, but they're still in this. So for her to kind of just get parachuted in, they don't have any perception of her. They don't have any rapport that's been built with her. I find it totally natural that they would not be able to click with that. Because again, I remember guys getting parachuted into my training course. We were like, who is this guy? I've been with these dudes for the last 9 weeks, grinding this out. Who are these two random guys? So that's always been my perception of it.
Even if, right, you've seen John A. on prior seasons and have knowledge of her from a distance through a screen, that is so different from, to your point, being around someone 24/7, going through those shitty experiences that they're not there for. And I just don't, I really see so much online chat and backlash, and I don't, I think it's all well and good to be passionate and ride for your fan favorites, right, and people you love seeing on your TV. And John A. is great, right? I'm not even saying that she's not great. I'm just trying to represent the present and what, to the point of what you just said, the new threats are feeling, experiencing, and what's informing their decisions towards her. So I don't know. I will say, right, CT smoking all the new threats in the mini-final, despite all that bullshit of people being, he's unk, he's chopped, he's washed. They could eat that for breakfast, right? But yeah, I just feel like sometimes the fan base gets a little I don't want to say extreme in some manners, right? But they're very passionate, which is a good thing, but sometimes a bad
Hell
thing.
yeah. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they come for us.
It was an interesting, yeah. Yeah, until it's not. But yeah, an interesting episode, Ben. Is there anything else pressing that you kind of want to touch on? Because again, like not too much happened. I feel like we covered all the main points. You know, CT performing well, obviously. Turbo continued to perform well. A lot of cheating. Will doing well. That was the big standouts for me was Will's performance, Turbo's performance, and CT as well. Those were the kind of the standouts.
I'd say for me, the only final note is the perma teams for the rest of this season of the challenge. They are as follows: Michaela Cedric, Jeremy Aviv, Olivia and Will, Sydney and Turbo, Anissa and Jake, Adrienne and Theo, Justin and Nani, Leo and Ashley, CT and Tay, America Leroy, Dee and Derek, who hate each other. That was kind of funny. And Gabe and John Nay. That is the pairings as we move forward. I would say the couple that I'm watching out for, Michaela Cedric, Jeremy Aviv, and Sydney and Turbo. I think those three teams are big threats. I'd put Olivia and Will there, but Will is a wild card, and he, I think, is going to have a tricky time in the social game moving forward. And like Olivia, it could go one of two ways, right? Because Olivia and Will.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
I was just gonna say, like, I think because Will has a bad social game, and Olivia's main game is her social game. That's a bad mix.
Yeah, because it's like it's inherently pulling itself apart, and there'll be friction. And because they've spent an entire season working against each other in a sense, I don't know if you can really converge and marry that back. And I don't know, Olivia. Again, I didn't love working with her on that daily challenge. And I don't know if Will's going to be compatible with her, but I suppose we shall see.
I'm just remembering, I don't mind being the hangnail. I don't mind that at all.
What if we throw Ben in? Okay, a couple social tweets that I want to take it to. First one being from Pink Rose on Twitter with a little shout out to our guy Will. Whoever casted Will deserves a raise. Best male rookie since War of the Worlds. Won 6 years ago. Competition, fights, hookups, storylines, gets butthurt easily.
He is great TV.
I mean, this is Are You the One gang is really pulling through.
Mercy.
It's like that. Come on.
Why you gotta show up looking so good just to hurt me? Why you always this whole damn world I'm turned?
Listen, he's got good pipes, man. I'll give him that.
He does.
I mean that both in a vocal singing sense and also his porn tape sense. Have you watched that? I know we've talked about it briefly. No? Okay.
No, I have not, and I'm good on that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right,
that's how Zach Bryan started, just clapping cheeks on the internet, and then he blew up.
Morgan Wallen, same thing, man. He had a huge Pornhub career. And
big OF guy.
Big OF guy. Jason Aldean and Kenny, what's his name?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, moving on to the next point.
Okay, so one more shout out to the great America. Her reactions during the Ashley and Anissa fight, beyond fucking funny. Beyond funny. She is providing in the background
She's
more
us.
than anybody else. She's us, dude.
Yeah.
She is her. She's him. No, I think she's really like finding herself as the season progresses, which is nice to see, man.
Yeah, it is. She's really kind of coming out of her shell a little bit.
All right. In terms of, should we talk about the thing that I sent you, the video that I sent you, or do you want to
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah,
we'll talk
there's no
about
harm
it
in
briefly.
it.
So I saw on TikTok over the last couple weeks, Casey, who is a challenger. She's been on many seasons, was dating Nani for a long time. I've just seen her on TikTok, like, panhandling for likes and engagement. And it's really this.
It's not likes though, isn't it? Actual financial donations.
It is donations. It is donations. So I screen recorded briefly just a little bit of this most recent one, where it's just.
You guys, Jenna!
Oh, how do I get the volume? Can you hear that?
No,
I can hear it.
Freaking, that's going crazy over there. Virgie, Riley. Okay, you guys, no roses, no roses. You guys, we need everybody. We need chat. We cannot lose this. We cannot lose this chat. I don't know what they got going on over there. Chat, I don't know what you want to be.
I don't know. It to me, I think that
Imagine winning $1 million and then doing that.
Yeah. Instead of like parlaying your time and energy and success on a reality TV show to something like,
A job.
Instead of donating to your digital panhandling, just comment, how about you get a job?
Yeah. Just send like employment links.
And like
United States Army. Just in the chat.
Just
Actually,
enlist.
Yeah. Have you considered?
And maybe Casey's got a ton going on, and this is just some supplemental thing. That could very well be true. But I've seen her on TikTok Live so frequently the last couple weeks, and it's always in this vein of just begging for donations, which is something that that David Dobrik guy, Jason Nash, like. He was the poster boy of going from, on David's videos, getting millions of views and engagement, having his own successful channel, to then being devolved to just begging for money on TikTok fucking live. I'm sorry, it's just pathetic in a sense. So, Casey, how old's Casey? Let's just do a quick Goog real quick. Casey, the challenge. This could make it so much worse. She's 37, bro. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That makes it so much worse.
Start a family, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Born in 1987. That's before the Michael Keaton Batman movie. And she's panhandling on TikTok Live in big 2025. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't, I texted this to Riley and was like, I've kind of got a feeling about this. This has kind of rubbed me a wrong way. And I don't know Casey. And again, I'm watching Spies, Lies, and Allies right now. She's on that season, kind of not doing much. But it's just it's.
Have you considered sending roses?
Have you considered helping her?
Have you considered donating?
Oh, I just got it spoiled for me. She wins Spies, Lies, and Allies. She was a finalist on Total Madness and Double Agents. So it's like
she won like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Bro, she has 500,000 followers on Instagram, 57,000 on Facebook. Like I would say there's better ways for her to have monetized or developed her brand in a sense, right?
Yeah, like literally anything else.
I don't know. It just, come
Whatever.
on.
That's kind of part of live streaming. I understand that. But the TikTok part of it is worse for some reason than like the Twitch part of it. I don't know why. Anyways, whatever. That doesn't really matter that much. I thought it was just kind of funny.
You'll never catch us fucking panhandling. This show comes at you for free. No expenses on your end.
We're not even allowed to monetize it.
We can't. And we'll never be able to.
We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're hitting 1,000 views every episode, which has been amazing. So let's get that number up a little bit. It's been fantastic. I'm having a great time, Ben. This is really fun. Yeah, please give us throw the elephant at it or whatever it is.
Please give me a galaxy. But I think So any final thoughts, Riley?
No, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't even like this episode. It pissed me off to watch a whole episode and the outcome be like nobody gets any points. Nothing actually really happened. That bothers me. But I don't know. We were able to yap about it for a while, so obviously it wasn't too bad.
And
Yeah,
listen,
let us
maybe-
know in the comments,
maybe
guys.
what we can
Because
do,
I do
bro-
want to hear people's opinions. I want to hear what people are saying.
Maybe what we can do is we can like recreate this mini final or recreate some challenges and then do it ourselves. Could we eat the hot pepper and onion?
That would actually be awesome, Loki. That would be really funny.
Let us know in the fucking chat down below. Should we recreate this onion final?
If you donate $40,000 million, we'll recreate.
If
the viewers donate $2.2 billion, we will recreate the entire show. We'll hire a film crew. We'll fly to Chile. We'll do the whole thing from scratch.
No,
we'll just recreate the episode.
We'll bring the same cast.
Yes,
we'll bring
everything.
everybody. If you donate,
Everything.
if you donate the GDP of Guatemala, we will we'll
Yes.
recreate this season. No, but for real, make sure you like, make sure
Yes.
you subscribe. Let us know down below what you think about the mini final, and gang, we'll see. I've been blurry this entire outro, haven't I?
We'll see you in the next one. Later.